Can someone confirm if we are live on Facebook? Yes, I think we are. So now we can start the session. Once again, good afternoon, respected participants, honorable panelists, and esteemed audience. This is Zara Mustafa, Communications and Knowledge Management Associate at Rapid. And it is my pleasure to warmly welcome you all to today's Rapid Policy Debate, which is organized with the support of the UK FCDO. The motion before us is, does the current subsidy structure in agriculture make the sector less efficient and discourage local innovation? A very timely and critical question for Bangladesh's agricultural future. We are delighted to have with us two dynamic university teams representing Ghazipur Agricultural University in support of the motion are Nevina Khan and Muskana Islam Ridhi. Opposing the motion from Bangladesh Agricultural University, we have Maisha Lamia Azanta and Asif Iqbal. To guide and enrich our discussion, we are honored to have as our distinguished panelist, Dr. Mohammad Anwar Hussain, who is Principal Scientific Officer at Bangladesh Rice Research Institute. And as our moderator of today's debate, we have Dr. Mohammad Deen Islam, who is Research Director at Rapid. I encourage everyone joining us on Zoom and Facebook Live to stay engaged, reflect critically, and share your insights as the purpose of the debate is not only to just exchange arguments, but also deepen our collective understanding of policies that shape livelihoods and development. With that, let us begin today's debate. And without further ado, I would like to hand over to our research director, Dr. Deen Islam. Deen, sir, over to you.
Thank you, Jara, and welcome everyone. So this is our monthly program, and from last month we started youth policy debate on relevant policy issues. So as Jara mentioned, we have two teams, Ghazipur Agricultural University and Bangladesh Agricultural University. Both team will have two members will be speaking on in favor or against the issues. So each member, let me just explain the rule of this debate. It's a policy debate. It's not a parliamentary debate, and you can actually you can actually elaborate your point. You can also counter argument. You can also provide the counter argument or the argument from the opposite team, or you can only elaborate the point you think is important. And for each member, you'll have about 8 minutes. I'll signal you at the end of 7 minutes, and please stop when it's 8 minutes. So we'll first start with the supporting team on the issue. We have two team members, Nineveh Khan and Muskana Islam Reddy. So they will speak first. One of them will speak first, then we will have another speaker from the opposing team, and we move on like this. So let me now invite Nineveh Khan. Nineveh, you'll have about 8 minutes, and please start your speech. Nineveh, can you hear me?
Actually it's Muskan. I'm the first speaker, actually. Am I audible?
Yes. So are you speaking first or?
Yes, I'm the first speaker.
Okay, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Let me start with a simple reality check. The internet was built to save time and boost efficiency. Yet today, it eats more of our time than it saves. And that's why, should we shut it down? Of course not. And that's why it is it is to fix its structure and make it efficient again. Exactly what we need to do with current subsidy structure in agriculture. Our motion is not about abolishing the subsidies. Rather, it is about examining how the current subsidy structure is reducing efficiency in agriculture and discussing uh, what reforms can make subsidies more efficient. Thank you, Honorable Moderator, for giving me the floor. I am Muskan Islam Ridi, the first speaker of the affirmative team, ready to unpack the reality behind our motion with evidence. The motion is the current subsidy structure in agriculture makes the sector less efficient and discourages local innovation. Here, the agricultural subsidy means the government incentive that lower the cost of farm input like seed, fertilizer, irrigation, etc. Efficiency indicate when resources used wisely, more productively, and less wastage. Local innovation includes local scientists, startup, and farmers develop solution. We, the supporting team, will divide today's motion into three clear parts for better discussion. First, we will explain how the current subsidy structure in Bangladesh makes the agricultural sector less efficient. Second, we will show how this subsidy system discourages local innovation and limits the growth. Finally, we will explore the structural reforms that can make our agricultural sector more efficient. My teammate will provide solution and in-depth analysis on this point. Throughout this debate, we will present our points with reference and authentic research papers on agriculture sector of Bangladesh, including studies from RAPID and other relevant organizations. This is why our arguments will stay rooted in evidence, not just an opinion. Honorable moderator and respected judges, agricultural subsidies in Bangladesh may seem helpful, but research shows they make the sector less efficient, like corruption and lack of transparency, misallocation of resource, crop diversification problem, market failure, fiscal inefficiency, value chain disruption, and many more. As CDP Policy Dialogue 2020 shows, subsidy distribution is poorly monitored and reports they are incomplete. Without clear records, we cannot know if poor farmers actually benefited or not. World Bank 2021 adds that a large portion leaks through middlemen. Misallocation of resource, CGIAR 2021 finds that larger farmers capture most subsidies, leaving the small farmers with little benefit. Public funds are locked into cheap input rather than higher return area like irrigation or research institutions. Crop diversification problem. Rapid Bangladesh 2022 shows a cheap input subsidy push farmers to stick to rice and wheat instead of high yielding varieties or high value or climate smart crops like maize, fruits, like dragon fruits, making the system is less adaptive. Market failure. World Bank 2020 reports subsidies distort the input market. Artificially, cheap fertilizer reduces competition, crowds out private supplier, and creates dependence on government handouts. Fiscal inefficiency. IMF 2023 notes that subsidies taken a huge portion of our agriculture budget, but the returns are very low. The same money we could fund for innovation or infrastructure for higher benefits. Value chain disruption. Rapid 2021 shows that the input focused subsidies makes the storage, processing, and marketing sector weak, make the value chain unbalanced, and reducing return from farmers. So from all evidence from CDP, Rapid, World Bank, and IMF all confirm that current subsidy structure in agriculture reduce efficiency by creating corruption, misallocation, and distorted incentive. Instead of making farmers stronger, subsidies often lock the system in inefficiency. We just cannot deny this problem at all. So my question is to my dearest opponent, exactly how do you solve these all issues like corruption, misallocation, and market failure just by current subsidy structure? Now I would like to discuss how it discourages local innovation. Workstep 2021 shows Bangladeshi farmers become over-dependent on cheap fertilizer and seeds, blocking sustainable alternatives. ResearchGate 2021 adds that subsidies crowd out private markets, so companies stop innovating. Finally, PPI-PBR 2024 shows subsidies distort markets. When prices are fixed, entrepreneurs avoid entering. For example, biofertilizer startup cannot compete with underpriced chemical fertilizers. Honorable judges, the evidence is clear. Subsidies make farmers over-reliant. They ignore local knowledge. They reduce investment. They reduce investment in research, and they distort market. Rapid policy brief on Bangladesh's LDC graduation shows that subsidies are not just sustainable, uh, they are dangerous for our future too. If we keep pouring money into current input-based subsidy structure, we are training our farmers to depend on a system that will collapse in just 2 years. Instead, Rapid strongly recommends shifting investment into structural reforms like modern technology and productivity gains. The real way to prepare our agriculture sector for global competition. My dear opponent, how can you claim that the current subsidy system prepare our farmers for global competition? The fact of the matter is that the motion before the House is not about ending subsidy, but exposing their inefficiency. And here is the truth: our farmers deserve empowerment, not the dependency, and they deserve innovation. This is why we, the supporting team, strongly argue that the current subsidy structure does not strengthen our agriculture at all. Rather it poisons it. Hence, I strongly assert that the current subsidy structure in agriculture makes the sector less efficient and discourages local innovation. Thank you, Honorable Moderator. Thank you all.
I think our moderator is facing some problems with his internet connection. May I now request the next speaker to start presenting their points? Thank you.
Honorable Moderator, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
I'm starting. Thank you, Honorable Moderator, for giving me the floor. Today, confront a very critical question. Does the current subsidy structure in agriculture make the sector less efficient and discourages local innovation? So my answer is a clear no. Honorable Moderator, these subsidies empower our farmer, protect their livelihoods, and allow them to dream big, as well as they give them the facilities to try new methods and adopt new technologies. They are the foundation of progress in agriculture. On the other hand, I strongly believe that the current subsidy structure, though not perfect, but that doesn't mean it make the sector less efficient or distorts any market system. Therefore, as the opposite side, we strongly reject the claim of today's motion. To call it inefficient and anti-innovation is ignore the reality on the ground and the progress we already have made. In today's debate, Honorable Moderator, our team will show 4 things to establish our point of view. Firstly, we will show how subsidies improve efficiency by lowering input costs and ensuring productivity. Secondly, we will show how subsidies encourage innovation and giving farmers the security to adopt new technologies and renewable energy, at the same time improve crop varieties. Thirdly, we will show the real-world evidence, like how Bangladesh provide digital card subsidies to the farmers and group-based machinery programs, which clearly shows the subsidies are already delivering efficiency and encouraging innovation. Fourthly, we will show WTO regulation and its impact on Bangladesh's current subsidy structure. Honorable Moderator, as we all know, Bangladesh is a very small landed area, but largely depend on agriculture. According to the FAO report 2025, Bangladesh, about 85% farmers are smallholder farmers in Bangladesh. And this means it is very tough for them to adequate production at the same time maintain the food security. So on the top of that, every year these farmers faces different types of climate shocks like heat waves, cyclones, floods, and etc. In such a vulnerable situation, it is very tough for them to survive. At the same time, they cannot fight this battle alone. We believe that Bangladesh government can help them to improve and overcome this situation. To address these critical challenges, Bangladesh government almost every year allocates agriculture subsidies based on their demand, and currently also provides several types of subsidies, including fertilizer subsidies, machinery subsidies, rehabilitation and research subsidies, and most of all directly subsidies to the smallholder and landless farmers. But there are some controversial things about these subsidies, as our opposite team first speaker said lots of things. But what is the reality? And what is the situation right now, Bangladesh? So critics may say that fertilizer subsidies are wasteful, and at the same time, embargo subsidy system under WTO might hamper the sector. But research and the history tell a very different story. In Bangladesh, subsidy have never blocked the system, and rather than they have enabled it. For example, Bangladesh support combined with government backing made it possible for berry varieties like BR1 and BR3 to spread nationwide production. As a result, Bangladesh also ranked the third largest rice production in the world. So my question is, isn't that the very definition of local innovation? On the other hand, Honorable Moderator, if we talk about the machinery subsidies, Bangladesh government provide 50 to 70% subsidies on agriculture under the National Agriculture Mechanism Policy 2022. Higher rates are also provided to the Howrah and coastal area due to the labor shortage and ensure the increased yields. On the other hand, Honorable Moderator, if you talk about the budget and real world picture, according to the business standard 2023, Bangladesh had to increase subsidy allocation about 2.2% of GDP in the recent revised budget. Compared to 1.83% in the fiscal year 2022 to 2023 due to international price hike, fertilizer and fuel, and already government increased 1% of the GDP. This shows that government is responding global shocks to protect farmers. They don't just overlook it or leave it. So my another question to my opposite team is, if subsidy made agriculture inefficient, why would they be scaled up during crisis to save the smallholder farmers? Moreover, Honorable Moderator, we have to recognize and one more dimension which actually is skipped by our opposite team. The most important thing is Bangladesh is graduating from LDC status and its implications for subsidies under WTO rules. As an LDC, Bangladesh has enjoyed flexibility in giving subsidies to farmers and exporters without any restriction. But now it becomes a very developing country. WTO rules will limit the subsidy, and we have to maintain this. We know about two types of subsidies, like non-trade distorting subsidies. They are mainly strengthen local resilience and without affecting the global market. On the other hand, if we talk about the trade distorting subsidies, this directly affect the international trade. We need to reduce these subsidies because most of the subsidies we provide now in agriculture sector, they are under the amber box subsidies. So what will be the future about the agriculture sector? Honorable Moderator, for example, before graduation, Bangladesh can provide 50 or 70% subsidies on mechanization to Bangladeshi farmers. But with the concern after graduation, the level need to be adjusted down to remain within the WTO limits. This doesn't mean subsidy will vanish. It means that Bangladesh must reform their retarget and redesign their subsidies under the rules of WTO rules. This transition is not a weakness, it is an opportunity. It will push Bangladesh to make subsidies smarter, more transparent, and better targeted to the smallholder farmers who need it the most. On the other hand, Honorable Moderator, if Bangladesh also include these subsidies into the R&D sector, education and other sectors, this will also indirectly and directly will help you Bangladesh agricultural sector. So honorable moderator, if subsidies truly created inefficiency or discourage the innovation, farmers, policymakers and researchers would not advocate so strongly for them. From the BR revolution to modern mechanization, the evidence is clear, and subsidies are not barriers, they are bridge to the progress. Subsidies will remain, and subsidies are still right now as the backbone of survival and productivity and local innovation in Bangladesh. So honorable moderator, I firmly oppose the motion. Thank you, honorable moderator. Thank you, everyone.
Many thanks, Marshal Amia, for your argument against the issue. Let me now invite Muskana Islam. Please take next 6 minutes to present your argument. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm Niniva Khan, affirmative, second speaker of affirmative team. Sir, am I audible?
So the first speaker was Muskana?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, go ahead, Nini. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Judge, Moderator, and respected judges for handling me for the floor. Our opposite team has already claimed that this subsidy structure is not enough. That's what we are saying, that this current subsidy structure in agriculture makes this sector less efficient and discourages local innovation. This is the today's motion, honorable judges. I am Niniva Khan, standing strongly on affirmative team. This current subsidy structure in agriculture is mainly an input-based structure. It's likely giving students unlimited cheat notes in exam. Definitely they will pass, but do they actually learn? The answer is no, my dear opponent. In the same way, the current subsidy structure may help some farmers in the very short run, but in the long run, it will trap them into inefficiency. And that's what we believe, and we want to prove it today. My dear opponent, please take note that we are not opposing the subsidies. We are not saying to abolish the subsidy. Rather, we are saying that the current subsidy structure is about inefficiency in agriculture sector and kills innovation. Some of the highlighted drawbacks that of the current subsidy structure, as a teammate has mentioned before, they are the input-based subsidy structure. It takes 70 to 75% of the total budget, which is a very expensive amount, and got vanished, resulting a very low efficiency, low return. This structure reflects blanket system. That means rich landlord farmer and small marginal farmer both get the same benefit, which is not obviously supposed to be efficient, my dear opponents. This structure leaves the farmer locked into traditional practices instead of innovations. My question is, can we just live on rices? Where the full world is of self-sufficiency and smart agriculture production system. Moreover, it's a dealer-based structure, subsidy structure, where government gives fertilizer to the dealer and then magic happens. I mean, this magic means corruption and leakages. It doesn't indicate efficiency at all. To sum up, this subsidy structure is old, unfair, costly, like a phone running 2G in a world full of 5G. Honorable judges, we don't criticize, we rebuild, we reform. Today, we are here not to abolish the subsidy at all, but use a smart solution that could enhance efficiency in this sector. To solve this, the problem, I want to show you a policy structure. Our plan is to redirect subsidy from input-based to innovation-based support, along with some points, such as number 1, making it digitalization to cut corruption. Number 2, target the poor who need it the most. Number 3, supporting crop diversification. Number 4, balance the forward-backward linkage in value chain. Number 5, spend smarter, not bigger. Number 6, the most important, reward innovation. Number 1, digitalization. Spending subsidy directly to the farmer's Bikash account is just like our neighbor India has tried it, and they have it has resulted massive, like
they have corruption falls 25%. And honorable judges, just imagine a farmer in Nilphamari smiling at a direct Bikash account notification. No middleman, no dealer, no corruption. That's the real empowerment of farmer we want. Number 2, targeting the poor. My dear opponents, please answer us. Why do a landlord with 50 acres get the same subsidy, same benefit as a poor farmer having only half and 1 acre? I think you clearly understand the differences between equity and equality here, giving more to those who need it the most. Number 3, supporting crop diversification. Current subsidy structure induces the farmer to some specific monoculture cropping system, production system, whereas we want diversified crop system that will be climate resilience, that will be smart, that will enhance smart precision agriculture, smart agriculture system. Number 4, balancing the backward forward linkage in the value chain. We know as a very perishable agricultural product, before getting into the market, they got perished, rotten. So to stop this and make it efficient, we need more subsidy for storage facilities. We need more subsidy for farmer cooperatives. That's what it needed. Number 5, spending smarter, not bigger. According to Asian Development Bank, only 1 taka investment in research results 6 taka in benefits. Whereas fertilizer subsidy return is lower than that. My question is, why to keep pouring government's money in an inefficient way, where we know government's money is public's money, and loss of government's money is obviously we will lose it. Number 6, most importantly, honorable judges, it is reward innovation. Subsidies are like painkillers. They will give relief today, but do not cure the diseases. What we need is investment in research. That is the real surgery for this agriculture sector. Honorable research, our research institutions are like doing a very great job. They are producing ideas. Their innovation in this sector is immense. But unfortunately, their wings are tied up because of low government budgeting, low government funding. Bangladesh Rice Research Institute has developed flood, drought-tolerant rice variants, but many of varieties are stuck in labs still now due to lack of funds. Bangladesh Agricultural Research Institute is improving fruits, vegetables, but cannot scale technologies to the farmers without government sufficient investment. Same with Bangladesh Livestock Research Institute. We can see the same picture in Bangladesh Fisheries Research Institute and also Bangladesh Agricultural Research Council. It's all is supposed to do great in agriculture, but due to lack of investment. If government invests more in research centers along with some global partners, Bangladesh can shift its traditional agriculture system to smart, global-based, more sustainable agriculture system, we believe. So without proper funding, great research stays just on paper instead of reaching out to the farmers. According to Food and Agriculture Organization 2019, Vietnam redirected subsidies from input-based to innovation-based. That is, crop yield is increased and local innovation has fostered. We can assure it by this, Bangladesh can also do the same, and from survival mode to sustainable mode. My opponent have claimed that subsidy is good. Okay, fine. But my question is, if subsidy is working so well, then why do CPD, RAPID, the World Bank, and IMF all say that it is inefficient? They all are wrong, and you only are right. My opponent have also combined that claim that the current subsidy structures, their benefits. I must say that you have got some confusions here about subsidy and the current subsidy structure. Our motion is about current subsidy structure, not just subsidy. We don't want to abolish the subsidy structure. We have the problem with current subsidy structure because it is making inefficiency in agriculture sector. My opponent, if you are defending on this subsidy structure, I must say you are defending on this unfairness, you are defending on this corruption-based agriculture system where in the name of food safety. Now let's move my argument. If billions of dollars or money. I must be 10 minutes, 10 seconds more, please. Honorable judges, it's crystal clear that subsidy kills innovation. Farmers get stuck in diesel pumps instead of trying solar. They stick in old traditional seeds instead of hybrid organic. Instead of inventing something new, current subsidy structure making just playing safe game and stuck with the same productivity. We want subsidies that make farmers efficient, not dependent. We believe our farmers deserve better. That's why we strongly affirm on this motion. Thank you, honorable judges. Thank you all.
Excellent. Very interesting point, Niniva. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let us now move to our last speaker, Asif Iqbal from Bangladesh Agricultural University. Asif Iqbal.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, please take next 8 minutes to present your argument.
Thank you, honorable panelists, moderator, and the participant government team. So I will start from the final speaker of the government team. She has claimed that the current subsidy structure is like a painkiller. She is trying to say again that subsidy is like a painkiller, but we want more subsidy. We need more subsidy. It is naive actually, because I accept that you don't refuse the subsidy. You want a better structure of the subsidy. You are opposing with the most or the major input subsidy. You have problem with the major input subsidy. But why the input subsidy is or constitutes the larger portion of the subsidy? Because the rising price of the world price of fuel, which is used to make the fertilizer, and the fertilizer is costly. And our current production of agricultural crops and others production, it is based on fertilizer and other chemicals. It is hugely dependent on that. And if we our opening opposition has told that 90 to 95% farmers are small to marginal farmer of our country, and obviously they have the lower education, and the 5% medium to large farms who have a better education. So we can say that the innovation they are providing is education for the education, and we can cause this for the education. But the local farmer, how will they get education if they don't have a stable income? If they have a stable income, a stable lifestyle, they can send their children to school, and from the next generation they can adopt new technology and they can give us a more innovation. If we don't see their life and we don't consider them more empathetically, I think the subsidy structure will be reckless and it will cause us a market failure. Because agriculture is by born is a less innovative sector, because it is the most old industries and it is the most competitive industries. It is by nature, it is a less innovative. That's why we need more subsidy. It is not like that we are giving subsidies and that's why it is causing us less innovation. It's not like that. The causal relationship is the reverse. And then they have come to the dealer-based and the leakage and corruption factors. The leakage and corruption factor, we also accept that it exists in the current market or in the current structure. But the structure, it is not problem with the structure, it is problem with the implementation. And the implementation is improving day by day. If we can see the annual report of BRRI, Policy Brief 2023, the annual report of BRRI 2023, there are strong empirical evidence which has showed us that subsidies along with the input subsidies along with the perfect targeting, it raises the productivity by 30 to 32%, and the adoption rate also increases due to the subsidies to the target seeds, to the target technologies, and to the target farmers. So the targeting and the improvement of the targeting is on the way, and adopting new climate resilient variety and adoption of new climate resilient technology like organic fertilizer, these are in our policy. We have policies for our renewable energy, where the renewable energy and the equipment are subsidized, the energy is subsidized, and the green agriculture technologies are subsidized. The import of the spare parts for the technologies are subsidized. So the room for innovation is still open, and it is also in the working. If we repeatedly change this structure, we cannot focus on the implementation. The corruption, leakage, targeting problem are the implementation part of this policy. And they have asked about the digitalization program. It is on the process. We have Bangladesh government has implemented subsidy card to the farmers, and BRI also has some research on the impact of subsidy card holders, and it has significantly raised their productivity, their resource use efficiency, and their livelihood. So if we shortly can see that the innovation and efficiency are not our starting point. Our starting point on the survival and the livelihood of the farmers and the major farmers who is constituting our agricultural production sector. And if we cannot hold their lifestyle in a critical position, we cannot expect the efficiency and innovation from them. It will cause us a devastation in the agricultural market. When their life is in a certain standard, they can then invest in the risky experiments. They can adopt a risky technologies. We have room for that, and our current subsidy structure is not a barrier to the innovation or efficiency. It's the enablers. It enables the farmer to invest more into the innovation and efficiency. When they have called about the private innovation. Private innovation are already on the way. We can see the private seed dealers, the numbers of the private company is increasing day by day. Our renowned BRAC has already entered into the market. If it was not incentive, there was no incentive, or if it was not profitable and effective, we would not see that level of new entry of the private firms. And there are others NGO working on the adoption of new technologies which are climate resilient. And our subsidy structure of current is mainly European Union area-based targeting. We are providing subsidies to the area specific requirement of that area. We know that agricultural production is so much dependent on the environment. If we can go to the Kishoreganj, the Haur regions, or the Saline regions, the production system is different. Their needs are different. And our subsidy structure is addressing these differences to allocate the subsidies. And the specific variety required to them are subsidized there. The machineries where it is emergency and crucial for their production, we are subsidizing there. And the amount of subsidies are dependent on that special requirement. And that's why we can see that there is an increase in Bangladesh land intensity. That's why farmers are okay. So now farmers are more able for the subsidy structure to fight with the climate complexities and the other their financial limitations. And now they're trying to incorporate other cropping methodology, cropping technologies. They are trying cropping rotations. If we can empirical, there are enough of research from both BRRI and from RAPID that the current structure is promoting the adoption of new varieties of rice, vegetables, and it is also improving the productivity, which is crucial for our strategical goals of our country. It is not an efficient from a pure sense. We are looking to the efficiency term from a national sense. It is if we are food secure, if we are self-sustaining from food production, we will have a strategic edge from a policy-making view. I hope I have clearly addressed all of the government issues, and thank you to the RAPID and BRRI.
Thank you, Asif. And thank you all the speakers from supporting team and from opposing team. We have heard a very lively policy debate. So in policy debate, we'd like to understand the policy perspective from different dimension. And I think both the supporting team and the opposing team did an excellent job. discussing this issue. And it's very impressive that our young scholars using proper literature, not only the global literature, but also local research on this issue and citing them in this policy debate. It's also very interesting to understand the debate using economic concepts of equity, efficiency, investment on supply chain, investment on R&D, and the issue of inefficiency related to subsidy. So from that perspective, I think both the supporting team and the opposing team both did an excellent job. And in this policy debate, there is no winner or loser. Actually, all of you, all the speakers are the winners. So let me congratulate all of you and thank you for bringing a different perspective on this issue. We also have an expert with us, Dr. Mahmoud Anwar Hussain from Bangladesh Rice Research Institute. He's the principal scientific officer. So we'd like to hear from our expert, Dr. Mahmoud Anwar Hussain. Uh, Please, if you can discuss this issue in next 10 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. First of all, I sincerely thanks Research and Policy Integration for Development and the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office for inviting me as a distinguished panelist in that very timely and effective debate. The issue in subsidy is both sensitive and critical for Bangladesh. We know agriculture still employ about 40% of labor, and it ensure food security for nearly about 180 million of people. But subsidy have always been a lifeline for some product inputs, such like especially fertilizer, diesel, irrigation, and recently added machineries. But the key question today is, do subsidy make our agriculture more resilient, or with a slowing down efficiency or innovations? Let me share my reflection in the three different parts I would like to mention here. First is how subsidy in agriculture machinery evolved in Bangladesh. And second is the benefit and challenges of the current system. And third is how we should reform subsidy for future. As an agriculture engineer, I mainly focused on agriculture machineries because we know fertilizer, diesel, irrigation, it is lifetime needed, considering if we consider the other countries also. But recently, it is very debating about machinery subsidies. If we see the first phase of machinery subsidies started 2005 to 2011, it was pilot and early expansion type. First introduce of subsidy on agriculture machineries, there was about 30% subsidy and focused on power tiller, shallow tube wells, irrigation pumps, thresher, reaper, etc. But impact of the first phase of subsidy is that by 2011, our tillage of agricultural land mechanized about 80%. But transplanting and harvesting still below because of high price and lack of service facilities and sophistication of the technologies. But interesting is that this is actually laid the foundation of mechanization. At the same time, BRI, BARI, and DAE jointly implemented another subsidy program based on locally developed machineries. BRI developed machineries, BARI developed machineries, mainly thresher, winnower, weeder, etc. And this subsidy program, it was formulated about 60% subsidy on the machineries. And during this period, we know threshing technology, either pedal thresher open dam thresher, closed dam thresher, widely popularized in Bangladesh. At the end of the first phase of the subsidy program, then started second phase of subsidy. It was implemented 2012 to 2019. And subsidy rate just increased from 30% to 50% in the plain land and 70% in the Howrah and coastal area, considering the current situation and gap of the mechanization status of the country. And in these phases, actually, many more machinery included under the program. That is the reaper, combine harvester, transplanter, thresher, dryer, etc. But in the second phase, if we see the impact, land preparation almost mechanized, about 95 to 98%. And transplanting is started to mechanize about 3% and harvesting about 5%. But important things is that at the second phase, some of the importers from China, Vietnam, Malaysia, India, Korea actually entered to the market with the hand of SCI, Metal, Alim, and many other companies. That is the most interesting things. With the success of the second phase, third phase mechanization, that was big subsidy program in Bangladesh. It was integrated mechanization system from 2020 to 2025. It was the so far big subsidy program, about 3,000 crore, and considering about 51,000 machineries under the 12 categories will be delivered to the farmers' field. But the question is, there was a lot of challenges of the fairness, challenges of the machinery selection, challenges of the timely supply of the machineries to the farmers. Even there have a subsidy under the third phase, high capacity of combine harvester machinery is introduced in Bangladesh. Even after subsidy, farmers have to pay about 10 to 15 lakhs for combine harvester. That was actually unaffordable for most of the small and marginal farmers because of large-scale machinery involved under this program. But interesting is that in the third phase, if we see tillage is mechanized, threshing is mechanized, but transplanting mechanization is increased 3 to 8%, and harvesting mechanization is increased 10 to 22%. And farmers are more aware, but adoption is slower compared to our expectation. But one is the observation about the local capacity of the manufacturer. Now, there have no subsidy on power tiller, but most of the parts, about 60 to 70% are locally now manufactured in Bogota and Dhaka. But why not now produced in Bangladesh? That is the question. Remaining 30% parts have to import from other countries with high taxation. Taxation on spare parts about 30 to 80%. On the other hand, taxation on the whole machine only 5%. You see the difference. And because of import of high taxation on the remaining 30% parts, none can actually come forward to fabricate machineries in Bangladesh. In another way, there have another obstacles like lack of our quality material and also unreliable electricity, limited gas supply. That is another problem. On the other hand, there have a more profit in the imports compared to the company establishment in Bangladesh. That is another. And hence, we may say that in some way, indirectly, we may say, our subsidy and tax policy indirectly encourage importers rather than local production, because there is a high taxation on the spare parts. If we see Thailand and Vietnam, they have no taxation on the spare parts, but high taxation on the whole machine. But reverse in Bangladesh, that actually discourages the local capacity. We have to think about this. That is one of the important things. And now we are raising the voice in different forums that have to reduce the taxation on the spare parts and gradually increase the taxation on the whole machine. Then our local manufacturer and other company will go to fabricate locally. That is. And another, there have some current structure. If we consider what are the challenges, actually slow delivery is one of the challenges. Even a high farmer cost after subsidy because of high capacity of the machine. And another important problem, that is after sales service. and weak warranty service, and sometimes substandard of the machineries. And fast moving parts, there have no availability of the fast moving parts, and frequently changing our model that is imported from other countries, that actually hindering the supply chain of the internal supply chain, and sometimes imbalanced mechanization. Land preparation is fully mechanized, threshing is fully mechanized, but there have no even we are lack for on transplanting and harvesting. That is one of the problem. And one of our participants rightly mentioned that some of the leakage and political influence, that is selection of beneficiaries, is sometimes influenced by the local politics that are reducing actually fairness. That is also one of the important things, but have to wire to minimize this. But still there have, I think, a lot of merits on subsidy. One of the participants mentioned it, that it ensured the food security and support to the marginal farmers, because they have no actually capacity to afford the high capacity of machine without subsidy, purchase the fertilizer, tillage, diesel, irrigation facilities. And it also helped to stabilize the price during different situation. And also it increase the social equity and sometimes create job also. There have lots of merit. Still there have some demerits, like market distortion. If someone get the subsidy on machineries, that sometimes overuse or improper use create the maintenance issues frequent, and also discourage local innovation. That is to this point. And fiscal burden also have, if we go huge subsidy, then it also hindering the other research budget and extension budget, also infrastructure development and timely inefficiency. Many other things also have the demerit that already mentioned here. But what is the middle ground? There have some merit, some demerit. What is the middle ground by reforming the subsidies? I think instead of asking whether subsidies should continue, better we should ask how to make them smarter. And now that is question, smart subsidy we may establish by link subsidies with the resource efficient technology and resource efficient management and climate smart technologies, and target oriented subsidies without blanket subsidies for the small and marginal farmers. And another things, promote local innovation. If you think about the Walton first started their business in Bangladesh with SKD mode, that is semi-knockdown mode. Some of the component import from other countries, then some of the component they fabricate in Bangladesh. And then they move to the CKD mode. And now it is fully fabricated in Bangladesh. So if some of the company come forward and make it like Walton, SKD mode, CKD mode, and then full fabrication system, then it will be more efficient and innovative for the Bangladesh. Another things, one of the participants maybe mentioned here, that is digital monitoring. Now we are actually living in the digital system. So use ICT to ensure transparency in beneficiary selection and proper utilization. There have lots of way actually, and gradual transition we may help. But there have also a time limitation. All the participants actually raised their voice with a lot of information. Now I would like to conclude in such a way that, ladies and gentlemen, subsidies in agriculture are like a double-edged sword. They have protect our farmers and ensure food security, but the current structure also discourage efficiency and weak local innovation. The debate, therefore, is not about whether subsidies are good or bad. The real debate is how to restructure subsidies so they become smart, fair, and innovation friendly. We must continue subsidy where essential, but at the same time, build our own capacity in the all sector, so that one day Bangladesh can design, produce, and sustain our agriculture with our own production. Thank you very much for patient hearing.
Many thanks, Dr. Mahmoud Anwar Hussain, for your expert opinion and views. You actually enrich our knowledge. And again, thank you all the speakers. We have faculty members from Gazipur Agriculture University and also from Bangladesh Agriculture University. So, Dr. Alamin, if you would like to share your perspective in 2 minutes about our today's debate or about today's topic, Dr. Alamin.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I know you did actually a lot of work on mechanization, agriculture mechanization. So, in 2 minutes, if you can briefly uh, provide your perspective.
Yeah, thank you. Apology for being audio mode because I'm in field survey in Dinajpur. So I think you are hearing me. Thank you for the opportunity. The thing is that first of all, I would like to repeat for bringing these issues on the table of discussion because we know that we are in transition. So devising our transition mechanism while reducing the financial burden of the nations, considering the macroeconomic consequences important. The issue is that Dr. Anwar sir rightly mentioned here. It's not about the good or bad. It's all about how to devise the subsidy in a way. In that way, our existing system can thrive, and we could link with the thriving economy, linking with the WTO agreement as well. So we know that our economy is doing good in economic perspective. The thing is that we have concern that whether this existing mode of subsidy will be consistent enough for the coming days. So it's if we look at the other settings, that subsidy do exist in developed world as well, but the mode of subsidy is different. United Kingdom, if we think about the environmental land management scheme, we'll find that it's not all about the direct subsidy, but they are giving subsidy for youth entry, for field margin, considering the ecological systems or ecosystem services. So in Bangladesh, yeah, the subsidy is the lifeline for supporting the farmers, but it should be devised in a way that should promote our efficiency, our production systems efficiency, and I will say the efficiency of the aggregate systems. Like we have demographic dividend, and we know that we will enjoy the maximum dividend by 2035, and it will exist till 2050. So the point is that how we could devise our subsidy in a way that could facilitate our thriving economy, simultaneously ensuring the productivity and environmental efficiency of the whole agriculture system. Linking with mechanization initiative, we have some machine specific subsidy, but the point is that subsidy should not be machine specific. Instead, it should reinvigorate the rural settings. It should attract the rural youth, and we know that our educated youth are mostly facing the heat of unemployment. So here we have room with the digital inclusions that we could accommodate our youth with the existing setup. So it's our job how we could better articulate the subsidy programs for the betterment of the livelihoods of farming communities, as well as linking with the macroeconomic growth. So that's all from my side. And finally, I'd like to thank Rapid for the initiative. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Alamin, for joining us from your field survey and speaking on this matter. So, is there any other comment or uh, suggestion or any new perspective on this issue from the audience? Okay. So thank you again, everyone, for joining us today. we have a very interesting debate today, which is very relevant for not only for food security, but also for aggregate macroeconomic efficiency. Uh, and I hope actually we we are planning to actually summarize all the suggestions or in favor of or against on this issue, and then publishing this on our website. Uh, the policies or the argument discussed here are substantiated by the literature. I congratulate all the speakers that you did your homework, you did your research before speaking, and I think we'd like to see more this kind of policy debate from our young youth and young scholars. So with this note, let me thank you again, and I would like to invite you for our next month's policy debate on a different issue. Until then, stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you again. Have a good night. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.